So in today's video, I actually want to talk about when a trade idea fails, right? I feel like a lot of us content creators, we can kind of get in the habit of only, um, you know, showing a perspective of being on the winning side of an idea. So in this video, I want to show a little show the side that's not always like positive, right? And for instance, like this is a trade that I took today, and as of this recording, it is August 3rd. And this is a trade that honestly that I was a little apprehensive of even taking in the first place. I will start off with saying that it wasn't my ideal setup. If anyone knows my setup, I typically like to catch the Judas swing above or below the Asian range, and in this instance, I had a feeling that we were going up, just based off of technical analysis of the dollar or whatnot. I did feel like we were trending. We would see a bull move up. That bull move came during London. During London, I did not get a drop below that Asian range low or below that midnight New York opening price. We just got a influx of volume pumping, and the first objective was already hit, right? So during New York, and we actually got it hit a mitigation block on an hourly here, and we started to see that drop. So me personally, already having it in my head, like, okay, like I typically do not like to force my way into a move as I see price aggressively. Like when I'm just reading volume and I'm reading the volume of the candles, these big beefy candles, I'm already like anticipating this has now become like low probability in the back of my head. At the time I took this trade, I was looking at the 62 level here to catch a OTE trade, and we did get a pullback, but as you can see, this as of right now in real time, this this trade idea is almost pretty much invalid at this point, because I would have liked to see that immediate reaction, which we pretty much we did, but then once price started to come back and it failed to continue to go higher, I saw it from a different perspective, and then I see that when I go back to the hourly chart and I see this mitigation block here, I can definitely see why we're headed down. But then also when I go back to the dollar, now I've been bearish on the dollar, okay, and just looking at it so my perspective was, as this trade was happening, we were getting repriced lower, and so I'm thinking, okay, we'll go capture these relative equal lows here, and then fill in this imbalance on the daily chart as well. So that was my idea, but I didn't take into consideration. This is where I feel like I did not take into consideration of all of this repricing this aggressive repricing we've had since last week, taking out all of this sell side liquidity. It was due for the dollar. I feel like is due to give a repricing back up into this imbalance here on the hourly. So I had that here, I had it drawn out, but just seeing that how intraday price is just reacting right now, I misshot it. So um, that happens. That happens definitely, not as often, I would say, but it definitely does happen. And so, um, as this trade was unfolding, I just got inspired really quickly to really recap almost a losing trade, right? To show full transparency, to show that no matter like what my perspective or what my gut instincts are telling me, the market is still, there's no like, you're always going to be right and wrong simultaneously, right? And so really the idea behind this video here is just to paint that picture to you that you do not have to be 1,000%, 100% right all the time. Like, I think that a lot of traders, a lot of us, we get into the mindset or the mind frame that we have to be right. We have to be right, and I think that is that's a disservice to yourself. So you got to give yourself room to lose. Now, the reason why I'm calm, cool, and collected about taking a loss is because, number one, I don't over leverage, I don't over trade, I don't overdo it. Right? I don't like I. This was a failed trade, but even knowing that the probabilities of once it took out this buy side liquidity, my target actually was up here, these relative equal highs. You can see it better on the hourly chart, but I was looking to target up here, right? And we probably will still reach up there. It's just that I mistimed my entries, honestly, and I feel like my entry wasn't today. My entry might be tomorrow. My entry may be Thursday, right? So the idea, you can have the right idea of a framework of a trade. What I'm trying to say is you can have the right idea for a framework or a direction of where price can ultimately go to, but you can miss time. You could definitely miss time your entries. So just wanted to really draw it out and just let you know that honestly it boils down to the reason why I don't mind taking occasional losses is because I'm never over leveraging, I'm never over risking, no matter what. Like I didn't even lose my full 1%. Once I started to see price, when I'm just reading price action and I started to read what the dollar was doing, I started to really reevaluate the setup, and I realized it was a low probability as I was triggered into the trade. So I went from risking 1.5% to closing out, and it's about 1/4%, right? So I still understand how to manage my risk in a trade. So that's where you want to practice proper risk management, and you want to not put yourself in the position and give yourself room for error, right? So I always give myself room for error. This is why I never go overboard and over risk 2% on a trade necessarily, because I want to give myself that room for error. So we're all human, and it's a learning lesson. So the key takeaway is understanding why you lost, right? Why did you take a loss? Why did you take a L? Right? Once you start to understand why you can take a L, it's not about not taking L's. You're going to take L's in trading. It's just a part of the business. It's a part of the game. You have wins and losses, and anybody to tell you anything different, you should ask for your money back, because trading is very risky. Trading, obviously, there are losses involved, and you can't run away from it. What you can accept that there are losses, wins and losses. You just need to know how to learn from both your wins and losses. Know exactly, when you take a L, know why. You should be able to tell yourself, oh, this is why. Like, I know exactly why I took a loss. I knew I took a loss before I actually closed out. Like, I already like pre-planned it in my head. Like, okay, if this doesn't go my way, this is why. So I already had this is coming to the chart with full responsibility upon yourself as an individual, and in understanding like it's not going to be it can always, you always have a 50-50 chance, no matter like what your probabilities are. There's always a 50-50 chance in the game and in the market. So I just wanted to give you guys that because this is, it's kind of raw and uncut. I'm not going to edit this video in particular because you're catching me like as like I'm actually live like in the trade. And I talked about this on the live stream earlier too, that this was the area that I was interested in. And yeah, took that trade. Didn't work out. Like I said, it was a logical, and I never get upset about taking a loss because it was a logical setup. It made sense to me. It made sense from my perspective. But yeah, I just mistimed it. That's really what it boils down to. I mistimed it. Possibly misread what was going on my benchmark a little bit, and hence the reason why it didn't go in my favor this time. But because I did not over leverage, because I did not over risk, I didn't put myself out there for too much exposure. I can still walk away with my head held high, knowing that tomorrow we're gonna be right back at it, and today it won't even matter. So hopefully you could take something away from this, because I feel like you learn more in your trading journey from your losses than you actually do your wins. You know what I mean? Like the losses actually make you fall back, sit back, and figure out why. And so, no matter how consistent you are overall, you're still gonna, you're still gonna trip up from time to time. So, till next time, hopefully this was good for you. Hopefully you can take something away from it. Maybe some psychology stuff, whatever. But all in all, hopefully just hit home for some of you. And just know, man, like, it doesn't matter. Like, just never over leverage, never over risk, and you can afford to take losses. Once you're risking like, crazy amounts of your account, 10%, of your account, like, you won't last long. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even take a full 1% loss on my total account. So, this loss won't even faze me in the long run. By the time August 31st happens, we're going to forget about this one trade at the top of the month. So, anyway, first trade of the month, total L, totally fine. I'm going to bounce back. Tap into the live streams. See you guys on the next video.